Actually, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be living here, funny enough.
I mean, it is sort of far out.
Yeah, that's part of it. The other part is, the other day I had La Nina come up to me and talk to me.
Right.
And she knows my name, so that's fun.
What she see? Is she,
She had disguised herself as an old lady. I didn't know this. She came up to me in the telegram office over in Armadillo and she said, "Oh, who are you? You know, like, are you such and such?" I said, No, I'm." And she goes, "Oh, you're Michael." And I went, I am." She goes, "Oh, we've met, but maybe not officially. You may know me as Abuela." And then, I had that like moment where I was like, "What the fuck? Wait, that was you." Because in Rhodes, there was this little sweet old lady that needed a little bit of help. She had a little cart and went on a wee adventure with her into the city, and she was there with us. But that was Ava. And I've had some medical things that I've had to do with Ava recently that saved her life.
she got shot, again. Or after being stabbed or something like that.
I was there for both of those to put her back together.
Goodness.
Aye. But after that, I was at the station, and then she goes, "Oh yeah, you know me as this." And it's not that I feel like she means any harm towards me. I would hope she wouldn't, considering I saved her life twice now, and helped her when she was an old lady. I mean, you'd hope you'd endear yourself to someone by doing that. But I don't know. So I'm a little worried about living out here. I don't mind coming out here. It's beautiful, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, I can tell you from personal experience that just because you help somebody doesn't mean that they're going to show you much mercy in the end.
Well, I'm sorry that you know that from personal experience.
I mean, you can hope. Maybe it's the difference between they only take a piece of you away instead of taking your entire life, but...
That's poetic, that is.
No, it's quite literal.
They took a piece of you. Is this too much?
No, I just don't want to frighten you. I don't know, it's sort of...
You don't want to frighten me?
It's why I don't like tall trees. That's why I've got particular issues with cannibals.
Oh, God, Saffron, I had no idea.
It was a long time ago. It was a very bad time. And a place very much like tall trees, almost identical, but in another state.
Okay.
The first one I was, aside from New York, before I got out of there.
I don't want to pry.
No, it's fine.
I'm happy
honestly,
to hear.
no, it's fine. It's just, there's so much that went on around this event, so it's not like it was the worst thing that. I mean, it was really bad, but it's not like it was the worst thing that happened in a few weeks span. And I can't even remember if I was addicted to laudanum at the time still, or if that contributed to it anymore. It's just sort of foggy. It's been a while now. It's just...
Yeah, that makes sense that it would be foggy.
There was a rather notorious sort of cannibal and murderer back where I started out, and I was in one town and I heard someone groaning in one of the doctor's offices. It was after it closed. There was no one there to help him out, and I went inside and I found this man just laying there with his gut open and
Jesus.
begging me for help. And I didn't have any sort of medical training, but he asked me to help him, and he sort of directed me to roughly stitch him up. Deputies came in and he started getting very strange, and eventually he grabbed a knife and made his way out and disappeared. I thought I'd seen the last of him. Honestly, I didn't really use disinfectant. I didn't know how that stuff worked, I hadn't studied it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, was it a month later, 2 months later, something like that, I was riding, no, I was in a town, I was in a store buying a chocolate bar, and this man said hello to me, and I sort of got that prickle at the back of my neck, like he was familiar to me, but he looked different, he sounded a bit different, and I wasn't quite sure, but decided to get to a more populated town because it was fairly late at night and no one was there. And as I was riding out, he just appeared in front of me with a shotgun in my face and tied me up and took me to the most horrible place in a wood, much like tall trees, and threw me down on a table. And he said that the only reason that he wasn't going to eat more of me or kill me was because I'd saved him, but he still...
It's okay.
He still carved a chunk out of my thigh while I was begging and crying, and, it's just... It was just... I think this is just a week after I've been tortured by the Colts. And... Sometimes I think that if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have gone down the path that I did. Maybe I would have been able to get free of them. But it was like I was just attacked by one group of monsters, and then I met another monster. And
Right.
when the monsters say that you can stand with them and be safe, maybe that's better than the alternative.
I understand that. God, I'm sorry.
I just, I say that I did time behind bars and stuff. I was part of a gang, a really bad gang, and I didn't want to be a part of it. But I was working, well, I had done some petty crime, I'd done some robberies, I was desperate, I was very grief-stricken after losing my fiancé, and I was just sort of numbing that grief. And because I was doing everything I could not to feel that, I didn't really feel anything unless I was being risky,
Yeah.
I just feel like you can't deaden emotion without getting rid of it all, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean.
And
Yeah.
they saw me around, they thought that I was a spy for another gang, and so they took me and they hurt me very badly, trying to get information out of me, which I didn't have. And I didn't know. So there's nothing I could do to dissuade them or stop them. I was completely out of control in that situation. And, they told me that if I told anyone, they'd kill me, and there was many, many of them. And they had... members of that gang were dating the state marshals. That's how corrupt this place was.
Jesus.
Aye.
So there was...
So I had no choice, and I think they realised that I truly was innocent and I truly didn't know anything. And they offered... I say invited, but I don't think it was truly an invitation. I don't think I had a choice. At least that's what I've been telling myself, but the way things panned out, it has to be true. They said that I could join them, become one of their family, and I accepted because I was certain they'd kill me if I didn't. And I was getting eaten by cannibals in the meantime.
Yeah, Jesus. That is terrible.
I just did what I'd always done before, I tried to... I had to deny what had happened. I couldn't I couldn't think about it. I couldn't dwell on it because it was too
Too much.
discordant with reality, you know?
Yeah.
People saying that they loved me and cared for me, even though they had shoved glass in my mouth and... I'm sorry.
No. Oh, this is good. You talk about it. You talk about it. You know?
I've talked about it to other people. It's just, you know, it's...
Yeah, you talk about it again. It's fine. It's good. You know, a lot of people think that when they have a bad situation...
I feel like I'm burdening people with it, you know?
Okay, no, wait, I'm not laughing at you. Okay, don't think I'm laughing at you.
No, I
You're
don't
not.
think you're...
You're not going to burden me. I have a job that literally deals with some of the worst things that happen in a crossing. And
I just... For a long time, I dealt with that, you know, just sort of... I basically almost forgot what they did to me. It was strange. I know it doesn't sound possible, but... It was like I
No.
had to survive.
yeah. No, you block it out in order to not deal with it. Your mind and body work in tandem. And your
But-
mind,
I started to believe that they actually cared about me,
yeah.
even though I was terrified. And at first, there was a plague going on, and so they didn't really engage in much crime because everyone was sick. The state even paid us to do some security work at the ranch where they were quarantining people who were sick.
Right.
And in the midst of that, right, I'd been taking laudanum because my ribs had been broken, because my thigh had been cut open, because I'd had this terrible cough, and I didn't know, alright, I didn't know how difficult it is to stop taking it. I just had doctors that screamed at me and told me that I was stupid for taking it. Even though I sincerely thought that, you know, I stopped taking it, the cough's coming back, I'm feeling horrible, I'm just still sick and I still need to be taking it, you know?
Yeah, and how would you know otherwise?
And guess what? The withdrawals from it closely matched the symptoms of the plague that was going on.
Oh,
So it was
Jesus.
a whole mess. But I didn't I was such a victim back then.
Well,
And people, they accused me saying that I wanted it to be that way, you know? It's the strangest thing. And I just can't imagine how anyone could ever say something like that to another human being.
well, in
And-
my
No, go on.
go ahead.
No, in your professional opinion, what was that?
Yeah, I was going to say, in my professional opinion, those people can go fuck themselves.
Okay, that's not that professional, Michael.
It's incredibly professional.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that like to look at other people's misery and almost take it as an affront against themselves, and will find reasons to marginalize someone else's situation. But I'm sorry, please continue.
Oh, no, it's just when I talk about choices, that was where I had to make my choices, you know.
Aye.
I had to make the choice to feel again, to open myself up to all the hurt and the pain, and stop blaming my circumstances for what I was doing and allowing to happen. So eventually they did start getting into more crime. They started pushing me to be more involved in it. And I really didn't want to, but Ethan was terrifying me and pushing me into it and saying what a disappointment I was to the family if I didn't engage, you know.
Aye, it's emotional blackmail of sorts.
And we robbed a bank, and we had several hostages in there. And I refused to have my gun out because I didn't agree with that. but there was one deputy that they particularly hated, and they agreed to exchange the hostages for him. But then we took him to a cave, and they were gonna kill him. They said they weren't, but they were hurting him. And it was very, shooting the sun off next to his face and everything. It was so much like what I had experienced, and I just couldn't ignore what they'd done to me, and it just all came back in a rush, and I tore out of there in complete darkness, and I ran to the law, and I let them know where it was happening. And, you know, before I had become part of that gang, I had been trying to go clean so I could clear my record. Because I wanted to be a deputy. I wanted to help people who'd helped me. Who'd helped me to stop doing crimes in the first place. Who'd take the time to listen to me and care about me and make sure that I was okay. But those same people went in there and they said, "Oh, guess what? You've got a wee bird who told us you were here." It just fed me to the wolves right there.
Saffron,
And after that, I had to go and hide it, you know. And the people who said that they loved me and cared about me said the vilest things you could ever imagine could come out of someone's mouth. They threatened the worst things.
Saffron.
And they took me before the Attorney General, and they said I had to confess everything I knew that had happened, and they'd give me immunity. But I never even pled to a lot of that stuff. I even told them about a murder that they had committed that I'd been trying to prevent the whole time. And you know what they did? They charged me with murder. They charged me with murder. They charged me with what I was trying to prevent.
Saffron, look, you... Okay. Look,
And it was something I could never... When the only witnesses are people who want you dead, and the Attorney General who charged you with it leaves the state, there isn't too much you can do.
No.
No appeal can be had. And on top of it all, they got a hold of me and they made me promise not to testify in court. And I couldn't, because they would torture to death the only person I cared about at the time in front of me. And they had the numbers to do it, and they were in the government's pockets. And so I didn't testify, and I had to serve a lot of time for stuff I didn't do and for stuff that I didn't want to do. And then, for a while, there was law who were working to help me get back on my feet and get my record cleared. And I got my record cleared. I got letters from every sheriff in the state sent in on my behalf. Where usually 2 letters were required, I had 10 or 15. And they kept throwing that murder charge back in my face. And said it didn't matter, that your slate's clean. The opinions of these people who don't even know you is all that matters and is all that you are, Saffron. Which, you know, the members of the gang started, you know, doing stuff like running for government positions and Well, then that's finally what I had to leave state. I had promised myself that I wouldn't run from my problems anymore. And then I ran again.
Yeah, but
And now I'm here.
yeah, but you there are problems that, and I know this is not the normal thing that someone should say, but there are some problems you do have to get away from because they are too big. It's not. I'm not saying you're saying you're ashamed of it or anything, but if you are, you shouldn't be. That, Saffron, what you went through, that is something that kills people. And I don't just mean like just the physical side of it. I'm talking about it destroys who a person is. Because when you feel that there's so much against you, you stop trying.
I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was a year ago.
Do you know how many times I've said that?
Hopefully less than me.
No. I doubt it.
Here, Michael, here's what's happening now. So, months ago here, I tried to, and afterwards, there in that state for a while. So they wouldn't make me a deputy. They wouldn't give me a badge, but they would happily deputize me and then watch me face retribution from the gangs who I helped put away. And I applied for the paper. I applied for law here. I never heard back. And so I went for the paper. Because I thought at least I can help people by getting the news out, right?
Aye.
And they denied me. For no reason, but said that they'd be happy to listen to some of my articles and put them in the paper on a freelance basis. So, just like deputizing, we'll take you, Saffron, but we won't support you.
What?
And I was so frustrated after months of nothing. I finally said, can I be considered again? And they finally gave me a chance. And I've just been doing this newspaper thing for about 2 weeks now. And you know what I just got? I just got a letter after 5-6 months of waiting saying I can seek out a sheriff for an interview as a deputy here in the crossing. Just when then again I'm so confused because it's something I wanted for so long, but I'm sort of angry.
Aye.
I just don't know what to think I'm gonna do because I want it for too long. I'm not gonna let some temporary emotions get in my way, you know.
I know.
It's just
I understand that.
I hate change and I'm afraid of it. So, because I'm just stupid that way, I guess.
You're not stupid. You're not stupid, Saffron.
I'm sorry, just dumping this on you. I'm sorry.
Oh. No. I'm honored, actually. You gave me a lot there. And that was not easy to give.
It's easier with time. I had to bear it out before every person that I ever looked up to. And it meant nothing. Over and over and over again. Telling your worst secrets and your worst moments. And it amounted to nothing. Over and over again. Over and over.
It means something to me. Just so you know.
It's appreciated.
No,
It's just, you know, when you're suddenly you blink and you're 29 and you're no better off than you were really 5 years ago. It's just sort of.
I know.
It's just hard.
I was traveling for a long time, and the person I was almost every day during that time was not the same as the person I was the day before. Change is difficult, and sometimes it's fast and sometimes it's slow. And sometimes you don't even notice it. It sounds like you've had to go through a lot of changes to survive.
But it wasn't until I decided to stop just surviving that anything changed. And that was the point I was trying to make. I had to make very hard choices. I had to stop choosing to bow down to fear. Whether that was fear of bullets or fear of the unknown.
Yeah. And that's what fear is. When you don't know what's coming.
Aye.
I usually have a load of advice or things that I could throw at you. You know, pearls of wisdom, I'd say. But you seem pretty wise enough.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with a pearl of wisdom every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's-
Well,
Like I told you, I've had a lot of time to think.
yeah. I know. I
feel
can hear
like
that.
you can't get past this sort of stuff unless you look at yourself and figure out what happened, I suppose.
And that's just
In a
it. You've done something on your own that I actively try and get people to do, and they will not. You know, and you did that by yourself, which is incredibly sad that you had to, you know.
I mean, what else can you do? I wouldn't have lived if I hadn't.
Well, there are people that do that. They stop trying. I'm glad you didn't stop. Yeah, stars came out.
I talked all day.
It's good. It's bad because of what it is. It's good that you were able to go through it. And I'll offer that if you ever want to talk to it in any lengths, in any moments that happened during all that, things pop up and I hit you.
You know what I'm more curious about?
What's that?
As you never finished giving your analysis of me. And I'm wondering how much that changes it. Or if it lines up with what you were thinking already.
Well, let's see here. Let's see if I've got some words to describe you. You're fierce and determined. You're vulnerable, but not in a negative way. You're someone who recognizes the weight they carry, but doesn't shy away from it. You're...
Shying away from it's what got me in trouble in the first place.
Aye. So, you're someone who learns from mistakes. I think that you're pretty amazing. And I know that's not a great psychiatrist thing
Honestly,
to
that
say.
doesn't sound very scientific.
It's not. It's really not. But I'm going to stick by it anyway. I'd use the word incredible, but I don't want to give you a big head or anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, have you seen my head? It's sort of already large.
It's not that. What the fuck are you talking about?
I look like a bubblehead doll.
It's not a
sometimes, I think.
bubble. No, what the fuck are you? Are you talking about your hair? Your hair, it's not like a bubble. It's not. It's fine. It's nice. Don't pick on yourself. Look, I'm right here. I'm an easy target.
Talked far too much about myself now. That's all.
No. One of my favorite things is listening, which has taken me a long fucking time to learn how to do, if I'm being honest. No, I appreciate you talking about yourself. You know, you shared something very, very deep with me. And maybe not secrets, mind you, which are always different things, but something that you hold dear and not in a positive way.
Well, it's just, one thing since coming here is I'm so afraid of what I'm going to share,
Yeah.
How much is it going to sabotage what I'm hoping for,
Oh, I understand. And you have a good reason
and I
to
feel like
that way.
I feel like this state's different because I see someone like Rabbit, who was a bank robber.
Yeah.
And she's a deputy now.
Yeah, or Shields. Shields was a criminal for a while.
So that gives me hope. Because I've seen that slippery slope.
Yeah.
Of little things leading into worse things. And I recognize the people that tried to pull me out of it and set me on my feet. And at least initially they didn't do anything wrong. They did everything right. It was later. Didn't kind of, it was them becoming jaded or what?
Maybe.
But if I can prevent just one person from experiencing the sorts of things that I did, the sorts of pressures, then I'm doing something right. And that's one of the reasons why I've wanted to be law. And I firmly believe that if I didn't face some sort of retribution for the things I was doing, I'd still be doing that or I'd be dead.
Yeah.
It's the greatest kindness you can do to another, is to pull them out of something like that where it's just morally depraved and all that,
So I'm going to feel a little bit like a lying asshole right now. Okay, so I need you to understand that before I go forward and start talking. You have said 3 or 4 things now. This is literally the exact same thing that I say. If I can just help one person get to a point that they can wake up and they can look at themselves and be okay. And if I die that day, then I die happy. Just one.
It's for me, it's almost like I've got to find meaning in everything that's happened to me,
Sure.
Like, I believe that everything happens for a reason. I don't think that anything's an accident or anything's a coincidence. I think it's all part of a bigger picture.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Do you believe in fate?
I don't know if it's really fate. It's just more of God, I think.
Okay, and that's fine. I have never believed in fate, ever. It's just not.
I don't think that things are fixed.
Oh no, that's
if
fine.
That's what you're asking. I think
that no.
Everything depends on our choices. Our choices affect things.
right, but the feeling that maybe things get nudged a little bit sometimes.
Aye.
You know,
Or that
yeah,
they can be turned for another purpose.
right. So I actually never believed that until much more recently when I've got too many things that have happened. I mean, I got sick, so sick that I passed out on the road. Fucking Bonnie Jack picked me up, brought me to town, while he was in disguise and being hunted by the law.
Aye.
Just,
Because there's Grace and your fellow man. Because they know what's right and wrong.
aye,
And he saw a helpless person who probably hasn't, I mean, honestly done too much harm to too many people. And he
No.
was needing help. And he was the one who was there to do that.
oh, yeah, anyway, I don't know. Do you know why I wanted to get to this point with you? Like,
No,
actually,
no, I don't actually.
we were, when was this? It's sort of fuzzy now because I was sick in between, but we were having a small conversation. You were pretty upset about something. I think.
Oh boy. I
No,
can't
no, no,
imagine
no,
what
no.
that might have been.
No. You were upset because there was something going on.
Oh, let's
And
step under here. Sorry.
no, that's a good idea. All right, are you okay, by the way?
I am.
Haven't like asked you properly or anything. but,
No, I'm fine.
Anyway, the subject really doesn't matter too much. It had something to do with you were trying to get information out of someone, they were not giving it to you, and it was mind-boggling. You were so passionate that I was sort of struck by it because it came from a place of caring, because you wanted to get information, you wanted to get people. It may have been about the cannibals now that I think about it, but you were so passionate about it. And all I could think is, here's someone that I really want to talk to more. Like, I want to get to know this person, you know? And, but, you know, you don't want to be weird and forward with someone and just immediately be like, hey, by the way. And then I caught you a few more times, and every time I had a chance to have a conversation with you, it was very real, you know, very honest and very fierce. And it was so intriguing. And now listen, I'm going to tell you something, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now,
You might have to speak up slightly above the storm.
I can do that.
Okay.
Look, I'm going to get closer, but don't get
Mm.
don't think that I'm trying to be fresh or anything
Okay.
here.
Oh, good.
Yeah. except what I'm about to say is probably going to sound like that anyway.
Okay.
No, it's fine. We were in the middle of a conversation, and you know, you've got your hat on like you do now, and you took it off. And for just in that moment, I don't even know what it was, but it struck me really hard. And again, I'm not trying to hit on you necessarily or overly flatter you or anything, but you're very beautiful, and I'm sure you know that.
Then again about that was okay.
Right. Anyway.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You interrupt whenever you want. It's great.
No, it's fine.
Anyway. It was literally at that moment when you did that, when I first asked you if you'd like to have coffee at some point. Because
Okay.
I really wanted to sit down and get to know you further. You're fascinating. And I don't mean that in a clinical sense at all.
I mean, I think given my experiences, that's perfectly acceptable in all honesty.
Yeah, but I don't. That's fine. But I only knew from a very shallow level who you were. And I still do. I mean, even with all that, and that was a lot that you showed me. There's a lot about you I don't know. But I am sort of keen to get to know you more. If that's okay, by the way. I don't want to put you in any sort of weird situation.
I mean, then again, I feel like
Yeah.
it's probably my own fault, you know. I'm not really close to anyone here. And
Right.
I feel like that's because every time I do get close to someone, well, I don't want to invest in anything
Right.
because then you don't have to say you lost anything. Does that make sense?
Oh, painfully so. Yeah, I understand that very well.
And so I keep everything at arm's length. Or I try
Well-
to. I'm doing a bad job right now.
Well, no, hold on. If you want, no, there you go.
No, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean lip. Okay.
I tell you what, I can understand the level of discomfort it can be to get to know someone and to get closer to them. And I'll make you a deal. You can keep me at mostly arm's length if we can continue having some time together.
So that's what I can't make promises, you know. I don't
You don't need to.
usually like going out and you know, just having conversations like this, you know. I feel like I prefer usually to be doing something, you know, going to events or something like that. Does that
Aye.
make sense?
Oh, it does.
I-
You'd rather.
I like to
No.
be busy, and I think sometimes it's just so I don't have to dwell on things. And maybe that's not a good thing, because that is what got me in trouble in the first place. But I'm trying to direct that in the right direction now, instead of the wrong one.
Right. No, I understand that. I am unfortunately a very open emotionally and I'm gonna use the word forward individual, which I don't want you to be uncomfortable, but I'm also very quick to be very honest about a lot of things. But that comes from my own life, which honestly, at some point I'd like to talk to you about in depth because I don't know, I think you'd find it interesting. Regardless of that, you don't have to get close to me. Just so you understand.
Well, I mean, of course I don't have to.
Yeah, I know, but I want you to understand that my expectations are not expectations. I'm telling you where I'm at and what I think and who I see. And you can make a decision or multiple decisions or no decisions, and that's fine. Just so you don't feel that burden or that need to... I don't even know what that's called, really. I don't know what it is, Saffron. I like you. I really do. And you're interesting and very, very curious. And boy, can you give me a lot of shit really fast in a very short amount of time.
I'm sorry.
No, I love
That's
it. No. You do not apologize for that. Okay. I also recognize that, considering the sort of things you told me and the sort of life you've lived and everything you've had to deal with, that this is probably not going to be an easy thing for you. If you even want to spend time. I just want you to know there's no pressure.
There's always pressure. I'm terrified of letting people down every day.
No, look, that is the fifth fucking thing. Do you realize I live in that place? That's all I do, is worry about letting people down. I chase after people to make sure they're okay, because I'm so afraid.
I noticed.
Yeah, lots of people noticed and yelled at me for it.
Oh, that's terrible.
It is, but they're not wrong.
I mean, okay, but
Yeah, no, they're not wrong. But anyway, I'm sorry about that, Michael. Thanks, appreciate that, Saffron. It's very nice of you to say that.
I'm sorry.
It's seriously. One of the reasons I came out here is because I can't help myself. If I see anyone is hurting, I run after them. I can't help it. Can't help it. Funny enough, I sort of ran after you, not because you were hurting.
Really?
Aye. I mean, you've dealt with a lot.
Well,
and
I try and keep it hidden away most of the time.
Well,
That's
I don't
an
know.
uncharacteristic break.
I don't know if I'd say that it's hidden away necessarily. I just think it's something that you use. I think it's your own tool. It's a harsh tool. It's dangerous. But you do use it. That's why I'm going to continue to chase after if you allow it, of course. Yeah, again, look, I'm very forward. And I apologize.
It's better than hiding your intentions.
Yeah, no, I won't do that.
Wish more people in this world were forward.
I do too. People would be a little bit better if they could just be a little bit more open.
Or at least communicate.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Try. You know what? I almost like launched into a monologue just then, and I had to stop myself.
You'd have every right to. No,
I
I've
know.
done a lot of speaking just now. You can speak, that's fine.
Oh, I just did a lot of speaking too. I don't. No. I just complimented you a lot, and then let's see.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry.
No.
I never
What?
know
No.
how to take that, so I'm the worst.
You point at me and you say, "How fucking dare you?" That's what you do.
I don't speak like that. Have you ever heard a word like that come out of my mouth?
How gosh darn dare you?
Oh, goodness.
No, wait a minute. You don't drink, right?
No, I don't.
I don't either, but I used to.
Other than just a wee bit of bourbon or whiskey and chocolate and coffee, but
Oh, sure. but
just for a wee bit of flavour. I'm not really. I don't like to not
lose
be-
control.
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. However, I was a sailor for a while, so I do curse a fair amount. And I'm really good at it.
My grandparents wouldn't allow it.
Oh, no?
That sort of stuck with me.
I didn't have grandparents.
My
Yeah,
grandparents
parents.
practically raised me, at least until I was about 14. And I moved down to Glasgow with my parents' work too.
Oh, wow. I grew up on the streets with Sparks in Dublin, southern Dublin, for a while. There's a story, and the story's mostly accurate. Do you know the story? I'll just tell it to you. Why not? One day, and stop me if you've heard it. One day,
I don't think I have, but anyways, go on.
Sparks and I, and it's always better when she's here to help tell it, but that's fine. We were in a class. Now, I say class, but literally we were being taught by, she was a prostitute there. But there's lots of kids here in the neighborhood, and there were lots of orphans for various reasons, considering the area we lived in. And she would try and teach us, so she'd get us grouped together. Now, there was this girl that I was keen on, right? She was, pretty. Had her little, like, pigtail sort of thing set up there. And we were in the middle of this class, and the teacher was trying to teach us this whole thing about debating and agreeing with these moral. It was this whole thing. So we were split. The class was right, two sides. And she asked a question. She's like, "Have you ever hurt someone and then you felt bad about it?" And everyone raised their hands. Now, I was not paying attention because I was trying to get the attention of this girl. And I must have been maybe 7 or 8 years old at this point. So I had my hand up, not understanding what the hell was going on, trying to be silly for this girl to pay attention to me, which she would not, by the way. And the teacher said, "All right, hands down." Now, I don't know why, and I don't think I'll ever know why, but I did not hear that. I heard hands down. So, without a thought, I pulled my pants down. I don't know why. I don't listen.
What on earth?
You have to understand.
What? Wait, how old were you?
I was like 7.
Okay,
8.
all right. That's okay. It's fine.
I thought maybe she said it, and maybe in my head I was like, "Oh, that'll get her attention." I don't know. And, and it did. Well, it did. She was not impressed. Let me say that.
I can't imagine she was.
So, pulled my pants up real fast after that. Sparks likes to tell that story from time to time. I got a good one about her too, but yeah. Anyway, we spent a few years in Dublin before a few things happened, and we had to we moved to Porttown, Dunleary. It's a fishing village of sorts. And I spent a lot of time on the boats there. The household that we lived in was this man and this woman. I won't say their names because, excuse my language, but fuck them. They were terrible to us. They made me work out there on the boat, which was not the terrible thing. The terrible thing is that they would beat us, and it was turns they took. I often had to act out a lot to get their attention so they'd stay off of Sparks. But during that time, I appreciate that. During that time, I was on the boats a lot, fishing boats. Did a lot of work. But you learn how to curse real fast. You stub something, drop something. The other people are cursing left and right. Every other word. You can't get a sentence out unless you're using some sort of 4-letter superlative, you know.
Well, I've known quite a few people who speak like that, so.
I try not to. I try to use it to comedic effect as much as I can now. Pretty good at it. But I guess I'm asking is, does it bother you when people curse around you?
I don't like it, but it doesn't really bother me. I mean, can't really go through life being offended by things.
That's true, because it's not like anyone got offended and the next day died from it.
It's not. It's not like you mean anything bad towards me or another person really by doing it either. So
No,
but I don't do something doesn't mean I'm necessarily judging other people for doing
sure.
it. I think everybody has their own struggles, whether they're, the president of the United States or living in a slum and I don't know kind of where sanity, it's just
Right.
I think everyone sort of struggles in the same ways, even if they don't admit it to each other.
Oh, I agree, absolutely. But my concern is, I want to make sure I don't offend you.
I mean, it's not the easiest thing to do.
All right, I'll keep trying then.
Mostly it's, just... Some people get very lewd, and I'm not...
Oh,
I don't...
That's... Okay, all right. This is great.
Well,
I'm so happy about this.
I can't believe it. Some of the things that people say in the little town and stuff like that, I just leave. You might notice I don't hang around large groups and stuff, and part of that's probably part of the reason.
Sure. Yeah, because that is the issue, isn't it? There are these times where, so I'm not particularly lewd myself. Cursing's one thing, and it will come out from time to time. But I will not make a light of stuff like that very easily. Doesn't mean that I don't have a thought in my head every now and then. But some people spend their lives trying to push those sort of comments out.
Right, but you know,
And
you're responsible for what you're thinking, and that's your problem to deal with. Not everyone else has to deal with it at the same time, you know?
sure.
That's that's the way I see
Exactly.
it, you know?
Yeah, so I'm not one to go in on that very easily. However, I tend to have a very odd problem. I tend to say things and then people immediately take them as them being sexual. And I'm not trying to be.
No,
I'm really not.
People just do that. People just do that.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Sparks has the mind of a 14-year-old boy. So if I say literally anything and she doesn't say that's what she said, it would be a miracle.
Okay.
I'm telling you. I am telling you. That is how it is. I don't even know how to explain it, but I literally would just be in the middle of a conversation and say something, and then something will come out, and she'll go, that's what she said. So, I'm not particularly lewd either, but that's fine. It's good to know. Well, I hope I've measured up well for you today.
I try to go on things with expectations, you know. It's then you know, if you don't have expectations, you don't get disappointed by things.
That is absolutely correct. Yeah, that is very true. However, I do have to say I'm quite flattered, by the way.
By
Well, apparently you were riding around looking for me.
oh well, I mean, I feel like I just didn't want to be rude, you know. You've been trying to speak to me for like a week, 2 weeks. I didn't even how long it's been. It's been a while, and I'm just, you know, part of it's nothing against you.
Oh,
Sometimes it's, you know, moments like this aren't what I'm prioritizing, you know.
sure.
I still sort of chase that thrill sometimes. Does that make sense?
Does. I know. I understand that.
And
I
I'm trying to
go
be
ahead.
better about it. But
Yeah, you do what you feel like you need to do. Again, I'm not going to judge you.
I'm just so mad because I've finally started feeling fulfilled in something. You know, this with the paper. You know,
Yeah.
I'm accomplishing something enough that I'm getting kidnapped because of what I'm accomplishing. And then finally the opportunity that I've been waiting for 6 years is thrown in my lap right when I was, you know, sort of happy with the way things were going.
Would you be unhappy if you ignored this opportunity?
I don't think I could forgive myself if I did.
Then you have to do it.
No, I do. I'm terrified of letting it pass by, you know, or doing anything to screw it up.
I know. I understand that.
But I'm also afraid that I'm gonna finally get there. You know, get to what I've been hinging everything on.
And it won't be what you expect. Or you won't be able to do what you would hope you would be able to do. Yeah.
And then what? You know?
Have no expectations.
But is that a good thing? You know? Is that always a good thing? 'Cause sometimes.
I live in hope, Saffron. I am a painful romantic. I read a lot of stories. I live in not a fantasy world, because that's not fair to say. But I look
Oh, I think
look
we both live
past
in
the silver
fantasy
lining
world.
of the clouds, you know? That's me. Which means I hope for the best all the time, with a recognition that I'm probably wrong.
Like the Crimbo.
I've failed more than I've succeeded. I've lost more in my life than I've gained.
That's probably most people, though. You can't
No,
use that
it
as
is.
a measure, you know?
No. The thing is even with all the losses, I cling to my successes and I applaud my failures. There's nothing wrong with trying to do something and failing at it.
But
People look
sometimes
at
it hurts
failure
so
like
much.
it's a bad thing.
That's, you know, there's
Yeah.
certain hurts that are much worse than bullets.
I know. But a
Yeah,
lot
he's
of
pretty
it,
great.
a lot of it's perspective. Because let's go all the way through it. You try to do this thing, you become law, and then you see it from the inside, and it's not what you want, or you see it from the inside and it is wrong. It's twisted. It's
Well,
backwards.
I've always lived by be the change you want to see.
Aye, right.
And that's
Exactly
what I want
that.
to do where I was before, and I just was never given that opportunity.
Until now.
Aye.
And you could be that. I've noticed issues within the department here and there. Jonah Harper is a very, very good friend of mine. And he is a good representation, from my perspective, of the type of law that I would like to see more of. Someone that is capable of talking to people in a realistic, they're a person, he's a person, they're both people at the same time sort of conversation, which you don't get most of the time. There's a lot of law that look down upon people in official capacity. One, so that they can disconnect and feel like they can keep control of a situation. But two, some people use it for power. And I know you know that.
Oh, aye. You know what though? I'm gonna go to Marty Malone and I'm gonna ask him for a ride along. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna ask him directly.
You and Malone don't get along.
Oh,
too well.
Malone hates my guts because I wrote that article where I talked about how he danced as part of the hostage negotiations. Because I thought, if it was me, I would have owned it. I've been like, I danced, and guess what? They're both alive. So,
Yeah.
if I've got to dance to save a life, I might not be able to dance to save my life, but if I've got to dance to save a life, then I'm sure gonna dance to save a life. It's get over yourself, Malone. He's in town going around calling me a busybody and telling the saloon not to serve me. Slandering my name everywhere he goes. And I'm gonna show him that I'm not whatever it is that he's built me up to be, because it's certainly not whatever he's thinking.
No, I believe you're going to show him. I do.
I don't care if he makes me clean all the bleeding chamber pots. I'm gonna show him. Well, I fully expect to get hazed.
I would hope that's not the case, but I live in hope. But
No, it's you haven't
I know.
seen the sort of camaraderie that the law tend to have with each other. It's absolutely gonna happen.
Well, well, I've got some really, really bad news for you, Saffron, and you might need to sit down for this.
What's that?
Okay.
Are you being serious?
I like you much more now than I did before, and it's going to be a problem. Are you going to be all right with that?
I'm not quite sure what that means.
You continue to say things that are either directly in my own line of thinking, contrary to it in the most interesting way, or just fierce, and I don't even know how to deal with that, if I'm being honest with you. I'm sorry.
No, I'm
so sorry.
See, I feel like sometimes that's when I've said too much. I'm too much, is what it
Too
feels
much?
like.
Are you
And,
fucking kidding me? Too much? You're too much. You're not enough. In a very good way.
what does that even mean?
That means that I kind of would like more. All right, listen. If I keep saying stuff like this, it's going to sound really inappropriate. So let me try and say this better.
Yeah, Malone. No kidding.
I enjoy your time, Saffron. I enjoy your company. I enjoy your time. I enjoy who you are, because Jesus fucking Christ, you got an honesty about you that a lot of people just do not have.
What's the point of hiding things? You know, it just makes people get hurt in the end, I think.
It does. You're right. I literally live with all the secrets that people have because they need to tell me what's wrong, why they're feeling the way they do. And
Yeah, but you get to help sort of liberate them in that process, eh?
oh yeah, it's not about me having their information. It's about
No.
them not being able to share it with the people they need to figure it out. There's 2 people right now I need to figure out. I need to talk to them because they're not communicating. And because they're not communicating, they're getting angry at each other. They're just incendiary. They're blowing up at each other. And they don't need to. They just need to talk. That's all it takes. Just most people don't do it.
Aye. I suppose that's true.
And I appreciate you talking with me. Because it's hard to do. Not talk to me. I'm easy to talk to. That's arrogant. No, it's not. It's true. I'm really easy to talk to. So
Aye, you're pretty easy to talk to.
yeah, I know. I'm you know, give to gab all that bullshit. But you shared a lot. You put a lot out there, and maybe you've said it before, and that's fine. And I'll say again that I do appreciate you sharing it. But that's a sign that you're the sort of person that, and you know that you've learned that you need to talk. You need to put certain things out there because people need to know and sort of to understand. However, you said that it might scare me off.
Well, I feel like that would be a perfectly reasonable reaction.
Well,
And
I'm
I
not.
couldn't fault anyone for it. And
Right.
maybe in some ways I'd hope that it would, because then my responsibility in the matter is done.
Oh, yeah. No, I understand that too.
I feel like you understand these idiosyncrasies far too much. That's
A little too well. I'm sorry. Wee bit of similarities there, which is really interesting.
then I can.
I can't either, but that's all right because it's fun. I mean, you pulling your heart out is not fun, but all the rest of this has been really great.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're okay.
I am feeling restless though.
You gonna get going?
You know, just we've been in one place for a long time.
Yeah. So fuck it. Let's go.
Aye, let's go. Alright, I'll take the reins now.
Oh God, no, it's fine.
Oh dear.
No, it's fine.
Oh dear. Let's. How's that? Okay.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I couldn't believe it was on there. Don't mind me. Just gonna eat a can of corned beef without you seeing somehow. That's great. Mm-hmm.
Oh, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you do like corned beef.
Mm-hmm.
I do like it.
I do too. No, corned beef
Okay.
is great. Actually,
I
okay,
mean, it's
so
better if it's fried up. But
no, okay, so the best corned beef that I've ever. It really depends. Have you ever had something called corned beef hash before?
aye.
Okay, but so I like shaved corned beef with that, and then I take potatoes, and I'll boil them lightly, sort of parboil, and then I'll fry them in butter, with a few seasonings, salt and pepper, and then towards the end I'll throw on the corned beef and I'll cook that up along with it. It's fucking phenomenal.
I know that sounds really nice.
It's pretty great. Maybe I'll cook it for you sometime. Maybe
Maybe.
I'll consider it.
Alright. Well, you keep considering it then.
I will. There were so many little conversations that we could have gone in so many different directions, and
I'm sorry.
Trying-
Did I?
no, don't. You done it. Oh no!
Oh, are you starting to speak Scots now?
I can't fucking believe that.
Oh, that's
I cannot.
delightful. I love that so much.
I can't believe that just came out of.
I just broke the Irishman.
You can't tell anyone. You can't say a word. No, this is a secret. It's a Di's hair. Right here.
Okay, alright.
It's gonna happen again. It's gonna fucking happen again.
I didn't care about that.
Don't. All right. I can't believe I did that. All right. No, you know what I said? When I ride around from time to time, I like to sing. Now, you don't have to sing, and I don't either. But if you'd like, I can.
You want to?
Well, I always like to sing. Sometimes I'm even good.
Well,
Sometimes.
you're very welcome to sing. I might shoot something, but I'll refrain from doing it while you're singing.
Do it, Jared. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. All right. Do you know the song "The Parting Glass"? You ever heard it before?
Oh, I have.
Okay. Do you mind if I sing it?
No, I don't mind it. Go on.
All right. Well, I've got to clear my throat there properly, or otherwise it's going to sound terrible. All right. Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company. And all the harm I've ever done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fell to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be to you all. I don't have to sing the whole thing, mind you. Maybe a few bars here and there.
Oh, it's fine. It's a good tune.
You want me to
That's sort
continue
of
then?
A
Or
bittersweet
that's not-
though, you know. Aye.
Yeah, it's a harsh
But, you
one.
know, most songs I know tend to be that way. I think they're the ones that sort of tug at the soul the most.
Aye, that's true. I have my own emotions tied to the song.
Music is such a fickle language.
It is. But when done well, it can be good. It can be fun. It
Oh,
can
aye.
pull tears right out of you.
And the same song can do it all.
Yeah, and how weird is that?
Mm.
It's good though. All right. Now I can shoot stuff. I want to continue singing right now.